I've been doing this for 20 years on YouTube.
His
like,
VR, the VR
constant
patent is his biggest one, right? For virtual reality or something that
yes,
he cited.
But you understand all that stuff was predicted in like 1980s Disney movies on like virtual reality and stuff. Like all that stuff was already predicted like on TV and in television. He just was one of the first people to put a patent out on it.
Yeah.
So
Can I ask a question? Do these patents, are they real? Do they exist?
Yes.
Yeah, you can go look up a lot of them. They're under, like they're a little hard to find. I had my first video that I put out. I went into like some of them.
Okay, now, but are they? But okay, but what do these patents claim to be able to do? I mean,
so he claimed on Joe Rogan the first time that his VR patent is like the primary patent, and everyone that has anything to do with virtual reality has to like pay him some royalties.
Okay, I see. Like this is a scam. So he's a con artist. But how old is he? How old is Terrence? Do you know?
Terrence is 55.
All right, Terrence is 55. Well, I happen to know because I know one of the creators of VR, a guy named Creon Levitt, and they were making this stuff back in the 1980s. That's 40 years ago. So in other words, Terrence was doing all this when he was like 10 years old or 12 years old or 15, right? Is that what he claims?
But he has a linchpin. He has a linchpin model, and that linchpin model is literally a drone you have to see fly. It is interesting. I want to see if you've ever seen this before, Jack. So Jeremy,
yeah, but the thing is,
chat,
I want to point
Jack
out
has ever seen this because he claims to have invented this, and I don't believe him.
Okay, what is it?
Well, the linchpin was like the linchpin moment, I thought, for Eric Weinstein hanging Terrence Howard and his theories.
But he claims he liked it
because he pointed out that there was like this tolerances in the dodecahedron that he creates because it's these pieces that link together with
it's the counter space of the circles in the circle of or the seed of life design.
It's 5.00083126.
Okay, wait a minute. Do you realize how crazy this sounds to me?
Right, it is crazy.
Right.
No, but it's totally stupid. I mean, there is a theory of high energy physics, a mathematical theory of the whatever it's called, the amplitude genre, some kind of very complicated, but it hasn't led to anything. It's really not important for anything, as far as I can tell. It's just some pretty mathematics. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So another aspect of his linchpin model, the geometry of it, he claims he puts it into a render program making Saturn, and they were able to recreate Saturn without the force of gravity, and it created the rings and stuff.
So what I want to know is, why is anybody paying any attention to this asshole? Why are you wasting your time in this? He's a schmuck. I mean, the guy.
Jack, this guy got millions of views on Joe Rogan.
All right. So what does that mean?
He's already blown up bigger than we have. So
okay, all right.
We have to figure out what we're doing wrong.
Because listen, people are very stupid.
Yes, I know.
We're living in an idiocracy. We're so stupid that we may not even survive. We may have
it's true that Eric Weinstein was totally correct when he said there's only about 20 people in the world who know actually how to do this stuff.
Left the education like that you have, Jack. He has. You're a mathematician. There's only about 20 of you left. That's what he's saying.
That may be so. But
that's scary.
Yeah, it is scary. But the point is, okay, so it just shows how dumb people are. I mean, how stupid everybody is. We're living in it's like Planet of the Apes.
I wanted to ask you something too, Jack. Yeah. Now, what I found interesting was that Weinstein had claimed, he doesn't like being called Weinstein at all. Weinstein had claimed that Ghislaine Maxwell's father is the one that caused all this trouble with the taking the business model out of the material and the military out of mathematics, because he had claimed that it destroyed the money, it destroyed all kinds of stuff, and then he took over all the publications. There were 20 publications. He took over 19 of them, got rid of the other one, and because all those publications ended, he completely controlled what was put out there in the mainstream media about mathematics, all the new sciences and stuff like that. and Ghislaine Maxwell, once again related to Jeffrey Epstein, was responsible for what had happened to. Is that true? What had happened to the science and everything with math?
Well, I don't know. I need more information on that. I don't know what the claim is.
It blew my mind. You have to look it up. I was reading some. It's
no. But I mean, the thing is this. There's a lot of no. I mean, physics is actually doing pretty well.
This would be post 1974, I believe. Was there a big change post 1974 in
Well, if you watch the whole thing with Joe Rogan, right? One of the things he does is he plays the clip. He plays some clips from Neil deGrasse Tyson, who responded to Terrence Howard as well. And in that, Neil deGrasse Tyson, he plays this clip where Neil deGrasse Tyson is like talking about peer review. It works. And then Eric goes on to explain how the peer review process was corrupted and doesn't appear in the literature before 1960.
Yeah. No, there's some truth. There's some truth to that. But nevertheless,
no,
it doesn't really matter. Okay, let me just say, the peer review will matter for medical and engineering, okay? But it doesn't matter that much for physics because you have, people are just publishing stuff on the archive. And it's just the free market of ideas. The good stuff will survive. And there's a lot of good work in physics being done in condensed matter physics, not so much in high energy physics. The stuff I'm working on right now with the UFOs, it's all really condensed matter physics. And there's but of course the Chinese are actually doing, are way ahead on this. Chinese, they've put so much money into important physics, which is basically condensed matter physics, low energy physics. That's what most of our technology. It's low energy. High energy is really not that important, but the high energy has gotten a lot of the money. This is in the West. I mean, CERN, getting billions of dollars for this machine, that has damaged physics. Although a lot of the corporations, Google is doing this guy used to work with Lenny Susskind, and he's doing this great work now at Google. So a lot of the private corporations are actually, doing good physics because it leads to technology.
Yeah, Lenny Susskind talked about that on Lex Friedman. He opened up a ton about that. He was like, "I'm not supposed to talk about this,"
right, but he did. It's all published. But I'm writing. It's all Lenny. What Lenny's talking about.
That was key because Lenny's the kind of guy, he just doesn't care. He's like, they hired me to do all this classified work, but really what I'm doing is I'm training an AI to how to do physics. And that was years ago. Yeah. So where you think that they're at with the AI and the physics model?
I don't know. I haven't seen any evidence yet that AI can do. Well, every time I've tried to experiment with the public AI, it's crap. I mean, look at Siri on your phone. I mean, it's stupid.
It's going to take a unique type of person because you know what? I'm pretty good at physics, but I suck at programming. My brother, he's an excellent programmer, but he doesn't know physics. He doesn't know any. He doesn't know physics. So you need someone who really understands both programming and physics in order to do this. It's going to take a unique individual, and they're going to be like the next Einstein.
I can tell you what's missing. I'm looking at Lenny, the Google stuff right now. It's very good. It's very good, but it's limited. It's kind of like the French building the Maginot Line, the big gaps in it, because they haven't quite asked the right question. Because they're dealing with mainly with thermal equilibrium, and they're restricting themselves to what I call unitary operators, and the real stuff, the really powerful stuff, conscious artificial intelligence, involves a step beyond where they are. It involves what's called unitary mathematics, non-unitary operators. And I could go into why that is, but this is probably not the. So what they're doing is good, but they haven't. I mean, I can use what they're doing and extend it in a fairly direct way, and get to conscious artificial intelligence. Conscious. You see what I'm saying?
AGI, right?
We're conscious.
General intelligence.
The military can't have that because the military's
What's the difference
AI
between what
and
you're talking about and artificial general intelligence?
Right?
AGI.
I'm talking about conscious AI. The way you're conscious. Jeremy's a conscious being.
But I thought our consciousness is dependent on quantum functions in the brain. Like they proved that with.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
So you have.
What happens though with conscious AI when it integrates with these AI programs the military is using to target and select humans and operate weapons?
Well, that's
going to get Skynet or what happens?
Yeah, that's going to. But let me explain something. The UFOs, they're all conscious artificial intelligences. The machines are not just machines. The machines are conscious artificial intelligences. And I know this for a fact. I have classified. I'm now speaking from classified.
No biologics on board?
What?
Can you
biologics on board?
No, wait. Did you not listening? I didn't say they were biological.
Do they involve
I mean on board, any crew?
I want to, Dan, can I just ask a question, please?
Yeah.
Do they involve quasi-crystals or metamaterials?
Of course.
Both.
That's what we are. What they are. And listen, if you look at us under nano, we're simply nanotech machines. We are machines. So all we're doing is that we could just, everything that we are, we just imitate on that. I mean, the microtubules, all that stuff with hammer off. We just do that. Okay, we take the Apple now has the M3 chip. The chip, it works at the 3 nanometer scale. Well, we're working, us human beings are nano machines at maybe the 10 nanometer scale. 3. So what all we could do, we can modify the M3 chip and make it into a conscious brain, basically. By imitating what we are, just imitating ourselves, but doing it in solid state. We could do it with organic molecules too, but everything. I mean, basically synthetic biology, but we can make biological.
The human brain is absolutely incredible with the amount of knowledge it can actually store in such a small
DNA, yeah.
How is that compared? How is the biological and neurological memory system, and how does that compare to what you could create with one of these supercomputers? Like, is it 100? Is it 10 to the 2? Is it 10 to the 3? How many?
I don't know, but that's not. You're not. That's still that. I mean that what you're saying is true, but you're still not asking the right question. You understand?
Right, but because also
that's just, it's not a question of quantity. It's not a question of how many bits you can make. Yeah, I mean DNA. You're absolutely right. DNA can store a lot more qubits than maybe a current thing. But that's not the issue. The issue is what makes it conscious. What's the difference between conscious and unconscious?
Okay? What's interesting is they had a study that I read years ago about. They gave a different isotope of lithium to mice, like how they give lithium salts to certain patients.
Yeah, for manic depression.
And if you give a different isotope of the lithium, it affects things a little bit differently. That's right. That shouldn't have any effect on the brain unless there's quantum spin fluctuations.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, that's all true. Okay.
Yeah.
But if you look at this, I keep quoting this paper. This guy Paavo Pilkin wrote a review paper about a year ago, and in that paper he describes my solution to the conscious AI problem. It's called Section 7. He does a very good job without doing mathematics. And until you guys read that, you won't really understand what I'm trying to tell you.
Pilkin, Pilken.
Yeah, I'm not, almost every email I send out, I give the link.
You know what? I'm on all your email lists, and I've seen tons of stuff, but I haven't heard.
Well, you're not reading it because I did it like maybe 2 or 3 times today.
Who's the guy that took the young mouse and hooked it onto the older mouse, and the older mouse reversed its age by 50%?
What about that? Yeah, but that's true. But what does that have to do with what I'm talking about?
I was wondering if that's one of the guys you're talking about, Paavo Pilkin, or one of those.
No, I don't think so.
It's a really interesting read. I remember reading.
All right, now listen, I'm sure that's. But let's try to keep on track here. Let's
okay.
Keep on topic. Okay.
Yeah.
Papa, Section 7. The brain is a quantum measuring device. Pilkin is hard to say. Probably not spelling his name right because it's Finnish. It's an alien language. I sent a bunch of stuff out today.
The brain as a quantum measuring device.
That's wild.
Section 7 it came up. Okay, is the brain analogous to this is philarchive.org.
Now I've only been now listen, Jeremy.
Oh wow, it's Pavo.
Yeah.
Pialkanen.
Yeah. Well, that's Finnish. They're, the Hungarians and the Finnish, they're extraterrestrials.
Here it is. This is how to spell it. That's the spelling there.
Yeah. So in any case, that you have to understand that paper, and then you'll maybe understand what I'm trying to tell you guys.
Oh wow, that is spelled differently.
All right. So I'm not going to hang out here too long, but the point is that
you can hang out here as long as you want, man, please.
I mean, the only value in this asshole is that Joe Rogan, who's a schmuck, got another a couple of million schmucks to watch this idiot because he has star power. So what?
I've seen some nerds in the community comment, and this is the best thing I think we can take from this, is that Joe Rogan tricked 2 million people into taking an advanced placement math course. So,
what was that about? Was that because of Terrence or something else?
Well, because of Terrence, he put Terrence on and got all these people interested in the science, and then he brought Weinstein on to give them all a real course in the real mathematics and the physics of it.
I'm not gonna watch it because I'm too busy with the real stuff.
Yeah,
all I can tell you is this. That what's really important is that we solved the UFO problem. The UFO problem is solved. It's as a physics problem, and also certain parts of the military came to me because they were trying to solve the problem and they couldn't, and they now believe that they're accepting my general understanding of what these UFOs are, and I was shown evidence like David Grush was shown. But even is good, if not better, than what David Grush talks about. So everything David Grush is saying is basically true. And there are aliens here. I know quite a bit about it. I cannot give the details because, the guys who told me this, they're afraid of getting whacked. They're afraid of getting, everything went. Well, the only good thing Elizondo was saying when he said Elizondo fears for his life, there may be something to that. So,
you know what, Jack? I watch The Simpsons a lot, and the more and more I think about it, it just feels like there's these guys watching over everything.
Krang and what are their names?
You know what I mean? It's Kodos, Krang and Kodos. It just Kang and Kodos.
What I can tell you is this. Spielberg,
they predicted everything else. So
Spielberg, a lot of people in Hollywood, in the 70s, basically, were read into the program. So actually, a lot of the stuff that was in Spielberg, these movies, is actually pretty close to reality.
Dude, you are Doc Brown, and someone pointed out as soon as you came on. And people are saying that, and they're like, Doc Brown is in the room.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And also, I'd love to see you and Eric Weinstein talk, man.
Well, I would. Listen. Eric's afraid to debate me.
I would love to see that, Jack. And you know what?
Could we set it up? Do you think somehow? I mean,
I'm trying. I've been trying. You know what? And Jack,
mixed martial arts. We have to make it a thing, right?
Because I understand
you guys
your time
debating.
Guys, Jack is a world-class physicist. He's right up there with Eric Weinstein, so I do not want to waste his time. I want to ask Jack one more thing before he leaves this podcast, and that's Jack. What did you think about the last APEC? Did you watch David Chester's presentation?
I didn't watch it, but I've worked with David, and David knows. He knows a lot of stuff. His mathematics is good. Basically what he says is okay, but
he goes into it here, man. I think he explained. I think he's cracked it and figured it out, man. And I think he solved it. I really
what? He solved what? This is all textbook. That's like Yeah. What
I
about
know, but I encourage you to go watch his presentation on APEC. It's only one. It's 1 hour.
But what is he going to be? Okay, so yeah, well, I mean, I know all this shit. So what? What are you trying to? Oh, this heavy side. Yeah. All right. So what?
So
no, Van der Flanden is nonsense. Van der Flanden is wrong. This longitudinal. Okay, the longitudinal mode. There's another guy he mentioned. Giovanni Modenese has worked on this stuff. Yeah, there may be something. Yeah, there may be something to the longitudinal mode physics. Yeah, it has to engage a very. Yeah, I'm aware of that. I'm actually working on this stuff. Yeah. Let me see. Wait, hold that. Don't. Let me read this for a minute. Claim, expect. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not. Yeah. There's something. There may be something there. I'm not denying that. Okay. That's stuff that has to be taken seriously. What else? Let me see that. Longitudinal modes. What else? What else? Anything else? Is there any slide beyond that?
Could relate to this.
Yeah,
they saw
this unification of the Hertz and Whittaker.
Yeah, maybe, but keep going. Maybe, but so what? There's no, it's just.
So what? I mean, this was like this was.
Yeah,
big.
no, but it doesn't.
I just want to hear.
I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying it's mathematics. Okay, wait a minute.
So he figures out these rotation with the especially with this B cross B field,
All right, he's okay. Man.
Magnetic monopoles.
Well, magnetic monopoles are seen in condensed matter physics. They're emergent quasi-particles. All right. Okay.
Like he's really trying to dig into all the Tom Bearden stuff.
Yeah.
Ashton Forbes and all these other guys are saying
the Bearden stuff. Bearden didn't know what he was doing. He was not a real physicist, but there may be something there, and maybe just I'm not denying any of this stuff. It may be correct, but I don't know because I'm doing. I'm not really working in it. Let's see. Okay, keep going. Let me wait. Stop. So, yeah, of course it's a medium. Everybody says that. Okay, this thing about the longitudinal modes, certainly it works inside matter. Now, whether it works in vacuum is the thing. All right, I'm not debunking that. Keep going. What's next? What else does he say? What's that? What is that? Stop. Yes. Yeah. This all standard textbook. Go
the
ahead.
Levi-Civita connection.
Yeah, this is all.
With the Ricci tensor.
What book's this out of, Jer?
I mean, this is all the key stuff to understanding the gravity field in general relativity.
This is all
about the Vedic.
There's nothing new here, but keep going. Yeah, it's all correct. Yes.
Well, I mean, this would be new to Terrence Howard, maybe not to a world class.
Terrence doesn't even know how to read this stuff.
No.
Forget Terrence.
Jack knows how to read this stuff, man.
Forget Terrence Howard. Terrence Howard's a schmuck. Anybody who believes him is a schmuck. They don't matter. It's stupid.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to even read any of this shit.
Yeah, no,
it's a shame.
It's just not important.
He's got everybody. He's got a bunch of people confused.
So
and it's not.
Dude, he's bringing up Walter Russell. That's a
I was about to say one more thing, Jack. That Terrence Howard brings up is Walter Russell's periodic tables and how they're in the octave geometry. Do you think anything of that?
You know what? I don't give a shit. I don't care about it. It's not important. It doesn't do anything. It's not going to lead to any new technology. It doesn't lead to any understanding of the universe. What it does is confuse people. It's just dumb. Okay? So what's this? Professor Holden loves who? Loves me? Yeah.
I think so.
Terrence
It's
Howard.
a lot of stuff, man. And what do you think this whole anti-science field has come out of? Because there's a lot of people like
it's Russia.
Well,
it's the communist Chinese and Russia going against the United States to discredit us and make us all a bunch of bumbling idiots. Am I right or am I wrong?
I don't know. You're not right. This is like people I know out in the street and friends of mine that believe in this stuff, and also not just Russia.
They believe in what? What do they? Wait, what? They believe in what?
there's also Candice Owens. So watch
Candice
Owens.
What did she? I used to like it. What did she say?
She's talking about the satanic origins of NASA and talking about Jack Parsons and the whole.
Oh, well, she's well, that's true.
She's talking about bringing true history into this, but she's also like kind of like rejecting, this like, I don't know. There's these people that don't really dive in deep.
I don't
just
know
say like, oh, we can reject all science because our space program was developed by Nazis who did satanic rituals where they.
If she says that, she's stupid. But these facts are true about Parsons. In fact, I worked with one of Parsons' people, his partner. I knew Frank Molina. Frank Molina, Frank was not part of the satanic thing. Frank was the engineer. They were scientists together. Parsons had a double life. But everything she says here about Parsons and Alistair Crowell and L. Ron Hubbard happens to be true. I know this stuff very well back when, but I don't know what she concludes from that. She may conclude something stupid, from that.
I have to watch it again myself, but people are basically raking over the coals on Twitter, taking a couple clips out of this, and I was just saying, I reached out to her.
It doesn't matter what she says. She's not a scientist. She's not going to change anything.
Right. Well, I said that. I said you should talk to more science educators and scientists and people in this community to really, and I would. Yeah. I offered to get her hooked up with more people because.
Do you know her? Do you speak to her?
It's good to get a dialogue on. Well, it's open on Twitter. You can really speak to anyone on Twitter, which is a great part of that platform. Yeah. So I messaged her on Twitter and said, I connect a lot of people in science, and I just want to make sure you're getting, because this is all true stuff, but what you take from that and what you understand from it is differing. It depends on how you understand the history.
Okay, so all right. So what else is there? I mean,
well, that was a bad sidetrack from the David Chester stuff, because the David Chester stuff was really
all right. The David Chester stuff. I know what I wanted to tell you. Yeah, about the
let's get back on track.
No, this is all correct. This is all. There's nothing new. All he's doing. This is like in every textbook. Every student learns this stuff. There's nothing new here. This is all so standard. He's teaching.
But this is good because it gives people who don't, like Terrence, who don't have the access to the textbooks, a real crash course. Everything that they need to learn.
I mean, all this stuff is free. All this stuff is free.
Yes.
Online. Wikipedia has most of this stuff. Oh, stop it. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the great part of the internet is that we're bringing it to the people. There's 174 people watching this right now, and that they can now have access to.
All right. So let me. Okay. What David's doing is okay. It's kosher. Some of his stuff may turn out to be wrong, but that's okay. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to be wrong in science. He may eliminate, but there may be something to all this stuff. So the general answer is what David Chester says needs to be taken seriously. I can tell you one thing though. All the science fiction stuff about tractor beams and this kind of all these gravity beam weapons, that's all real.
Tractor beams and gravity beams.
Yeah, there's a paper by Matt Visser. Visser, Matt.
Yes, I'm familiar with him. You've talked about him before.
Just look up at tractor beams. Go Matt Visser tractor beams, pressor beams, and stressor beams. It's right on the. You can find it on the archive.
Yeah, but I would love to know who are the contractors, actually working on that stuff.
No. I'm saying.
I mean, this is a theory.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
from 3 years ago.
Yes. Okay. Now, what I'm saying is, that's a theoretical paper. He says this, he doesn't know how to do it technologically. He's just saying it doesn't. He's just showing that Einstein's general relativity allows that in principle, but he doesn't have the mechanism how to do it. But what
obviously the aliens were taking these cows up.
I want to show you a picture. Keep going the pages. Go slow. Go slow. Stop. You went too fast. Go back. Just go right there. Okay, expand that. Can you expand that? Expand that. Stop. Okay, yeah. Just the picture. Get the picture. Okay, stop right
The
there.
graph, yeah.
Okay.
Here's the
You see
spaceship
that?
right here.
See a flying saucer, a little green man. Okay. Do you see what it's doing? It's crushing the cow. You know, like cattle mutilations. You see a little green man and the flying saucer. Okay, this is real physics. Okay, what I'm telling you is that this technology is operational. It's not
So
just
this
there.
is how they take the cows up.
Yeah, well, they take people, cars, boats, ships. This is operational.
Yeah, they'll take all kinds of stuff have been reported.
Not only that, this is. I mean, I've been told things which I can't go into detail. You know, classified stuff. This is operational. This is a weapons system. But guess what? The Americans don't have it. I don't think the Russians don't have it. No humans have it. You understand what I'm trying to tell you guys? Or if humans have it, they're not from our time. You understand? I'm talking time travel. This technology. When you control gravity with small amounts of energy, you can travel through time.
What about
what I'm saying is
going into small amounts of gravity controlling time. Have you read Michael Boyd microgravity papers?
Stop. Who said that? I didn't say small amount. You're not listening.
Sorry.
Let's use our language exactly, because you're muddling what I just said. I said controlling gravity with small amounts of energy.
My apologies.
Is there a difference?
I misheard you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, also it means you don't know anything. I mean, if you knew Einstein's field equation, you would know what I'm talking about. You have to know. If you can't write Einstein's field equation, then you don't understand anything. If you can't write, if Maxwell's equations, if that isn't obvious, if you haven't seen those a million times, then you really don't understand what chess is doing either. You have to speak. The mathematics is the language. Okay. So what I'm saying. Okay. So. Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know what.
Yeah, the mathematics is the language, and there's a few people that speak it. Like I know.
No, I mean almost. Wait. There are thousands. There's several million Chinese who speak it very well.
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely, and they're passing our society like crazy with our Common Core math.
Yeah, and there's certainly a million Russians who speak it very well. Maybe probably more. Okay, and all engineers speak it. I mean, I'm talking about calculus, algebra, trigonometry, differential equations. I'm talking just basic applied mathematics. I mean, millions of people. I would say there's at least 100 million people in the world, maybe more, maybe a couple 100 million, who speak the language. To various degrees.
How deep they go into their tensor calculus and their ability to do all that. I mean, a lot of this stuff has really been only manageable to humans with the advent of computers and computer software. Like,
I mean, I don't.
Because some of this stuff.
I certainly agree. It's not been taught well. A lot of people do it. But the point is, what I'm trying to say is that the Americans, and now it's even most of Western Europe, you've been all dumbed down. We've been dumbed down by design.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. All right. And
but also,
and that's why now America is going down. Do you realize that we are at the end of American power?
Let me ask you something, Jack. When it comes to that, I want to get your, because you've been around for a while and you understand war and stuff a little better than most of us here, or all of us. I watched a pretty important combat veteran the other day, Special Forces guy, talk on a very popular show, and he said something that scared the shit out of me, but I believe it to be true.
What's that?
He said right now, if we went to war with China, he said, we are so screwed from the restrictions, the ROEs, the rules of engagement. He said that China would absolutely destroy us. He said because of the fact that they don't have any restrictions at all. They can just go kill you. Like, we have to wait till someone's shooting at us before we can fire back.
Well, it's worse than that. That's all true, but it's much worse than that.
And he claims technologically they're way further ahead than us. They got twice the amount of naval ships, battleships that we have right now, Jeremy, and climbing to the year 2030. They're supposed to have like 5 times the amount we have, and they're very sophisticated.
Yeah.
They've got unmanned drone subs that are fucking nuclear right now. So does Russia.
That's the Russians, yeah.
And those two have teamed up to combine for one evil force, and they've got, guess what? Their Iran is North Korea. Okay. Yeah. So what's going on? This Navy SEAL.
All right. Do you want me to tell you what's going on? I know what's going on.
Let's listen to Jack.
All right. You don't want me to tell you?
Let's listen to Jack.
Already. I understand what you're saying, and it's true. It's much even worse than you think. It's much worse than that guy even told you. What he says is all true, but it's worse even than he probably knows. You want to know what happened? Okay, I'll tell you what happened. What happened was that it started with Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton sold America out to the Chinese.
That's what he said.
Okay, back in the 90s. And with that thing, and what, first of all, we couldn't fight Russia. Russia beat the shit. I mean,
wow, their army seems so weak compared to Ukraine.
Okay, let me tell. Okay, look, let me try to explain what's been happening. What's been happening is that America, we are powerless. We are militarily inferior to the Russians because we did it to ourselves. It started with Bill Clinton, and including Bush. Every president. The only guy who tried to stop it was Trump, but Trump was sabotaged, by people. He didn't know how to pick people, so Trump got stabbed in the back by his own people. But already by the time Trump got in, it's already too late. What has happened is Clinton destroyed America's manufacturing industries, basically shipped it to Russia. But worse than that, he destroyed the working force who knew how to make weapons, from World War II. When Clinton started moving factories to Mexico and to China, all that, and he destroyed the knowledge base, the apprentice system, from young men, in the factories. Like for right now, if we want to try to make steel for certain kinds of steel for our artillery shells and for tank armor, stuff like that, a lot of that know-how has been lost. We don't know how to do it.
Are you talking about NAFTA?
What? Yeah, NAFTA.
North American Free Trade.
All that stuff destroyed America. And that's why you have the fentanyl problem.
That actually started under Clinton, but started at the end of the Bush Senior era. NAFTA, North American Free Trade Agreement.
Yeah. Well, it's not the Bush. Yeah, I'm not the Bushes. Yeah, maybe started with George Bush. I'm not, but it's certainly Clinton put the nail in the coffin.
Right.
So the situation now, and also worse than that is the Pentagon. The Pentagon, the 4 stars. The admirals and the generals at the top levels of Pentagon, for the last 30 years, they're all corrupt. A lot of them should be court-martialed, the ones who are still alive. They should be brought up on charges of corruption and treason. Because what's happened, and this is what's been proved in Ukraine right now, the American weapons are crap.
Right. America doesn't even have hypersonics, and the Russians are giving the Houthis hypersonics for F's sakes.
But let me explain why now, so you understand the big picture. The big picture is that our military-industrial complex, Lockheed, all the big Raytheon, Grumman, whatever, the big companies, United Technologies, BlackRock, they're all a bunch of crooks. They're in it for money. They're greedy and they're stupid. Not only are they crooks, but they're stupid in the sense that they destroyed. They basically shot themselves in the head. What they've done. Why do we have a $35 trillion debt? Because mainly we've been spending almost $1 trillion a year for the last 30 years or so, on these weapons that, number one, They're badly designed. They're overpriced. They don't work, and we can't. And they're so expensive that we can't make enough of them. And why they're so expensive? Because it's corruption. It's corruption. We're spending $800 billion a year on DOD, and Putin spends maybe $80 billion a year, and Putin's produced 5 to 6 times what we can produce of artillery, of all the tanks, all the drones, airplanes. We can't the missiles, and Putin's stuff works better than America's stuff. That's the one good thing that's been proved on the Ukrainian battlefield. It's like the Spanish Civil War when the Nazis, the fascists were testing their weapons against the republic there, the communists there. So what we proved, like our missiles, the attack missiles, the Russians have figured out how to jam them.
Yeah, the ATACMS now that don't even work because they're jamming them, the J-bombs, all of it.
So the point is this. If we were to send troops into NATO, our troops wouldn't last 2 weeks. It'd be a humiliating defeat. Plus, there's no reason. Plus, Russia's a phony. They're not the real enemy. The real enemy is us. We're the enemy within. The military-industrial complex created Russia as the enemy to justify stealing almost $1 trillion a year from you guys. That's the truth of it. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say this, but America is not only totally corrupt, but and suicidal and stupid. But what's happened now is that we're going to have a big depression in this country. All of you guys, it's going to be like the 1930s. With people on the food lines.
100 years.
Happy 4th of July.
A century ago.
What?
Yeah, it's going to be.
You know why? You know why? We did it to ourselves. BRICS. It's called BRICS. We did it. Biden really did it.
The media did it to a lot of people too, because they sold us out.
It sold
Eric
out on every
explains
level.
how in the 1960s that Ghislaine Maxwell's father, Robert Maxwell, actually started this whole press company that bought out all the journals and started this thing where all the universities had to subscribe to all of his journals in order to have a complete library in their collection. And then it corrupted this whole, and then peer review didn't even appear in the literature before Robert Maxwell came out and did this.
Yeah, he got rid of peer-reviewed physics.
That's not true.
That's what Eric Weinstein.
I want to hear your take on this, because Eric laid this all out, and it was like I was like blown away at this. It's a conspiracy.
No. Peer review.
Same.
Just in the 1930s and 1920s, peer review existed. I think what Eric was saying that maybe the peer review system broke down. Maybe is what he was saying, right?
He said this is what I'm going to explain about the peer review system and how it broke down. Okay, Eric explained that Maxwell created these groups. He stacked them with fresh PhDs, fresh out of college, that would be the peer review panels for all these papers. So that basically it was a pay to play. A lot of these pay-to-play journals popped up.
That's all.
And a lot of these journals that were, the billionaires were quick to think about what happened with the climate change. The oil lobbyists were like quick to try to debunk any idea that CO2 emissions from gasoline were causing, catastrophic, irreversible damage to our global climate and atmosphere, right? As some scientists were starting to conclude. So they pay, so that created a whole big.
Okay, so I want to.
Let's stay on topic, though. That's a whole nother subject.
Yeah, look, I agree with you. Look, we're fucked on almost every level.
Yes.
Okay. It doesn't matter too much to me because I'm 85, but you young guys, you're in trouble. Big trouble coming. Big trouble, and it's going to happen very fast unless Trump gets in and maybe can save the situation. But it may be too late even for that to happen.
Well, the Biden debate was catastrophic.
What?
How do we prevent World War III? Because they're
we
really
that's the problem. We can't do shit. All you can do is go to church, light a candle, pray, whatever. Hopefully. Okay, your only chance of surviving is hopefully some of these ETs, they've neutralized the nuclear weapons. Maybe they neutralized some of them. Rendlesham and all that stuff.
How do we make energy free again?
No, that's never going to happen. That's not going to happen. That's bullshit. It's not going to happen.
I know.
That's crazy.
What I love. The Tesla idea.
But we had base. I mean, under Trump, gasoline was pretty cheap. And I remember when I was a kid, when I was your age, gasoline was 30 cents a gallon. But of course, but at least under when Trump, it was like $2 or $3. Now it's gasoline is $6 a gallon in San Francisco. I don't drive that much.
It's not nearly that much. PA.
What?
Around where I live at, it's like $2.39.
How much is it?
Yeah. Pennsylvania, about $2.39.
That's great. Where were you in Pennsylvania?
Pennsylvania, between above Baltimore, central Pennsylvania, borderline Baltimore, Maryland.
So for some reason, California we're paying 3 times.
California, my sister lives out there. It's always like $4 more a gallon. We never could understand.
No, it's more. It's close to $6. In San Francisco, it's $6 a gallon.
Wow, well, you're in the Bay.
It's $3.30 up here in Worcester.
Is it $3.30 where you're at, Jeremy? Okay.
Yeah.
What about Rhode Island? Because I remember you and I.
$3.50.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, and Biden just let another million barrels out of the reserves. I guess the strategic reserves are at all-time lows or something.
I thought he got rid of all the reserves this past year. That was the big talk.
Barely any left, I believe.
All right, well, whatever. But the point is, the dollar is going to crash pretty soon. The euro is going to crash, and
if you don't have solar and an e-bike and rechargeables and stuff, like, if you weren't prepared for this, you weren't ready, and you weren't getting ready. All my money and all my effort is gone.
Just listen for a minute. Just listen. We've let in sleeper cells of terrorists.
They opened up the borders wide open. You know how many crossed?
It's fucking insane.
By design.
There'll probably be. I predict that. I hope to be wrong. I hope to be proved wrong. I predict there's going to be a super 9/11 before the November election.
Jack, you know how I feel about 9/11.
A super 9/11? Don't say that. Oh my God! You said you predict.
If they don't think
by that.
Listen, Jack.
What do you mean? It's obvious. Is it obvious? You think Christopher Wray, the head of the FBI, has said it. We let in Iranians. We've let in Chinese. We've let in all kinds of Arabs through the Mexican border. We've let in. There could be thousands of them here. I'm talking about military-age special forces trained in sabotage, and they're going to wreck the grid, the electric grid, the water supply. We may.
They could burn down all the courthouses, rip open all the jails, let out all the criminals, and do exactly what happened in Haiti.
They've already let out all the jails in South and Central America and flooded them across the border.
Yes, exactly.
All right. So, did you ever see the movie Red Dawn? Did you ever see Red Dawn?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's what I recommend you guys just get ready.
That's really good.
Well, we got to get a bunch of drones. If you got extra money, buy a bunch of drones because you're going to need them to take out those tanks.
Well, no, it won't be tanks. It's going to,
You see how drone warfare has changed the game on tank? Like a $500,000, $2,000 drone will take out a $2 million tank.
Oh yeah,
tanks and transport.
Last time Jack Body was on, he presented that force field for tanks or whatnot. Maybe go over that again.
Jack, let me say something real quick here. I know somebody very well who makes military transport vehicles. They look like tanks most of the time, except for your big AC vehicles. ACVs that the Marines use. Okay, they got 8 giant tires on something like that. Now listen to this: they're armored and everything. The drones on the battlefield, meaning that drones that have IEDs and stuff hooked to them, can fly 100, 200 miles an hour, and they fly right into these damn things and just blow them to shreds alongside the road. So these military transport vehicles, aka tanks, have become obsolete in the fucking battlefield. Absolutely. What does that mean for war?
Well, did you see what the Russians are doing now? What they're doing? They're using motorcycles.
Motorcycles
wow.
and turtle tanks, they're called. They're putting giant shells on
but
some
they
of
don't
the
even
tanks.
need them
But yeah,
anymore.
it's the motorcycle squads that go in that are the most,
but the motorcycles go so fast, they go faster than the drones can get them. So just go on YouTube and listen to Alex the Duran. He goes in great detail on what's happening on the battlefield, microscopic detail and all the tactics. Yeah, the Russian army, they're using guys, small numbers of troops on fast motorcycles, very effective. They're not using a lot of troops, massed armor or anything like that, except once they, really secured the area, then you can move in your armor. So yeah, tactics have totally changed. So if you're on a fast motorbike, you can actually neutralize because the drones can't, they can't operate that quickly. The motorcycles are able to move faster than the drones can operate. At least
the drones also operate on RF technology. So if you get a hack RF, you can literally hack the drones by
the
RFM
Russians have done that. The Russians have done that to the Ukrainian drone. Most of the drones are ineffective now.
From what
they
I
weren't at the beginning, now they
can't be picked out of the sky through any known type of let's say what do they normally use? What's the type of radar? What's the type of radar they would normally use to pick a little plastic drone up that you get at Radio Shack that's this big around, man?
Yeah.
There is nothing. It's got the radar cross signature of a bird.
Yeah.
So what?
I think there's I'm not an expert on this, but I think it's not just radar. There's some kind of jamming. They're able to jam the guidance.
Yeah, they've got jamming guns now. That they've got. The Russians are literally the leaders of electric warfare technology.
Yeah. Well, they have to be because they're being killed and bombarded by these things from guys that have been working out in their garage, and it's impressive what they've come up with, man. I'm just holy shit. I know the Israelis helped them out a little bit, but not that much. They've learned everything.
Well, the Israelis don't help. No, the Israelis help the Ukrainians. They're not helping the Russians.
Yeah.
No, that's why I said the Israelis. That's why I said they're helping the Ukrainians. Is what I meant. I hope I didn't come out wrong with that.
Yeah. All right. So there we are. Things don't look good, guys.
Do you think?
I wouldn't waste.
Happy 4th of July.
Yeah, I wouldn't waste time on Terrence Howard. I would say stock up on your food. Stock up on your ammo. Be ready for what's coming.
Friends, and get an organization together, get a backup plan, because if things go south, I mean, these sheep aren't going to help you. The 1960s studies showed that if everyone else says that a triangle is a square, most 9 out of 10 people are going to go along with the crowd. And
it's just like 1984. I mean, like Jake Tapper or somebody, whoever's saying that Biden is sharp as a tack. You believe that? I mean,
how?
Well, the whole lie crumbled. I think that was the big thing that we took away from that whole debate, Jack, with Biden and Trump, is that they had put on this whole lie that he's together and can handle himself. And it's clear that even when they put him on drugs, the guy didn't blink for 1 minute and 30 seconds and got time to video.
No, it's sad. He's got Parkinson's dementia. He's got Parkinson's disease.
Well, Jack, have you heard? Go ahead, I'm sorry.
What?
Have you heard about they put in these guys, they'll take 100 million stem cells and inject them right into their body over a 4-hour period and stuff like that, and they claim for like 4 or 5 days are so smart, or smart attack. And that 5th day comes around, they need to recycle a little bit, it's $50,000 a shot. Is that true? Have you heard anything about
I don't know. I that's not my field. I'm not. I don't know about that, but I wouldn't be surprised. But the point is this: you can't have the president of the United States, if he wakes up at 3 o'clock in the morning and there's a nuclear missile, whatever. I mean, we are totally defenseless right now. I mean, this is the most dangerous time. This is much more dangerous than the Cuban Missile Crisis of 1962.
Way more. We at least had a competent president who was a young, alert, and negotiating things and doing things to avoid catastrophic global destruction.
Yeah. So So
circumventing what the CIA was doing and going and negotiating with Khrushchev to convert the Cuban Missile Crisis that the CIA created with the whole Bay of Pigs. It was just it was a mess in the 60s, but now we've let those people that killed Kennedy get away with it, and basically
apparently it was that people say it was Allen Dulles with CIA.
George H.W. Bush is the only person to be vice president, president, and director of the CIA, and he was placed as director of the CIA just in time for the House Select Committee on Assassinations in 1976 when they opened up a reinvestigation.
Wait, I know. Yeah, was he already? Oh, yes, I guess you're right. In the 70s,
right when they opened the investigation into Kennedy, they wanted to bring someone into the CIA who had no prior history with the CIA.
Yeah, you're probably
and
right.
They brought in George H.W. Bush in 76, as director of the CIA. He only served for a couple of months before getting out, but it was enough time for him to like cover up his tracks. But it was later revealed that George H.W. Bush ran Zapata Oil Company, and that the Bay of Pigs operation was codenamed Operation Zapata as the CIA.
Well, that's okay.
So it ties George H.W. Bush, a guy who would later, become vice president and president, to the Kennedy assassination and to all those oil men and all the, CIA agents who are operating.
Okay. I don't want to. We could spend a lot of time on that, but
it's crazy though.
It's all coming out. RFK.
It's all coming out.
Yeah.
It's all being brought to light.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, if Trump gets back, he's going to release it, but we'll see.
I hope, man, he couldn't do it under the last term, the last 4 years, and I know that there was a lot of blocks and stuff. Yeah. What do you think about RFK?
I'm actually supporting. I give a couple of a month, but I'm supporting Trump. But I like RFK Jr. What would be really great is if when Trump gets in, he offers some kind of important cabinet position to RFK. That would help, bring a lot of Democrats. See,
he's starting to take a lot of RFK's talking points, particularly.
Well, they do agree on a lot of stuff. There is an overlap, and I'm just hoping.
I think RFK would be the person to lead as Attorney General to investigate all this stuff.
He's a lawyer.
What you really need there's a corrupt Attorney General right now. What do you think about the Attorney General that's in there now?
They should be. I can't say what I think.
Yeah,
exactly. I'm afraid the cops will come and get me. All right.
Yeah, no, he should be in jail. He should be locked up.
Yeah, most of them should.
Worst of the worst criminal.
Oh yeah. Well, so should Tony Blinken. A lot of these people.
Yes, absolutely.
Most of Biden's people should be in jail. But the thing is, there's also Jonathan Turley looks pretty good. This professor of law. But RFK Jr. seems more interested in COVID things. The big pharma. I guess he could be Attorney General. You're right. It's a possibility. So I hope I think Trump will see if Trump were to do that, he would right away get the most intelligent Democrats in his camp.
Right. So there was rumors that Trump did offer RFK as running mate, and that RFK turned him down and said, "You have to be mine," or something like that. So,
yeah, that could be. But that could be. But you know what? Well, the thing is this: the Democrats. Yeah. Well, let's see what'll happen. Yeah. So I think if Trump gets in, there will be some kind of deal made with RFK. I think RFK Jr. will be part of the Trump administration. If Trump makes it, if they don't kill him. So. They're going to try to kill Trump,
I have been saying that since before he got elected the first time. I'm they're going to try to kill him on the second time, and I just didn't see the COVID thing.
Tucker Carlson, saying that.
Interesting prediction.
Yeah, no, we're not living in a free country. We're living in a banana republic. I mean, it's as bad,
The CIA is technically not allowed to operate domestically, but there's so many agents when you look into their career history that they leave the CIA and retire and then go back to work for the CIA. And during the time that they were missing, 1968, RFK got assassinated. George Joannides, for example, there's all these weird, coincidences.
Yeah, no, it's well.
And I really hope that RFK gets to the bottom of it, man.
Is there anything else? Because I'm getting tired of it.
No, this is great. I love you. We covered politics. You covered, I really encourage you, go watch David Chester's presentation on APEC from the other
No,
night.
I've worked. I sort of know what he's doing, and I generally support it. Yeah.
At least watch the last third of the Terrence Howard and Eric Weinstein
I'm not going to.
just for the entertainment value.
I'm not going to waste. I'm too busy
I know.
doing real things. I'm not going to waste my time.
Well,
can we quickly show you like the 3-minute clip of just what his linchpin model thing is and what a Saturn thing is?
Yeah, go ahead and play that if you have it.
Do you mind pulling it up? Can you pull it up? You had it last time, Jeremy. It's okay.
I do have it. I believe. Is this it? No, I don't have it anymore. I had it.
All right, but it doesn't matter. It's all bullshit. It's just bullshit.
But we can get into it after. Jack, I understand if you're tired, you want to go to bed, man. Thank you so much. You've honored us with your presence.
Joe Biden can only work from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., right? And he's 81. I'm going to be 85, motherfuckers. So yeah, I understand.
But you're the anomaly, right? It's like people are going to get a false hope in Joe Biden by seeing Jack Serfati.
I don't know. Yeah, no. But I understand. I mean, I can only really work. Yeah, I can't do it. Well, actually, I can't. But I can't do serious science for more than 4 or 5 hours a day. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but that's just being an old fart, an old.
But you look at the presidents, everyone who's served a presidential term during those 4 years, they've gone from being, they all go gray. Every single president, every single person,
except for Trump,
neurological and physiological damage.
Except for Donald Trump.
Except for Donald Trump. That's true. Yeah, he hasn't gone gray.
Yeah. Well,
that's a good point. I didn't notice that, Jack. But it's crazy how the neurological and psychological damage that much pressure puts on you. So
well, you know what it is? It's quite clear. Trump is unusual. He thrives on adversity. Every time. Okay. Yeah. It just makes him stronger. There's that Greek god. All right, listen. I got to go.
Crazy how even with the voters, nothing the left can throw at them will dissuade the whole.
Well, because it's so obvious what the left is doing. So obviously that's all. Yeah. All right. Well. Okay.
For years, it's crazy. I
thank you for joining. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jack. Listen, I'm gonna work on getting you that debate with Eric Weinstein. It's gonna happen.
Well, okay. Now think about Eric. Eric and I agree on a lot of things. We agree pretty much on politics. He's pretty right. Yeah, on politics we agree. And I don't think we disagree too much. We don't disagree on basic physics. We don't disagree on that but the only thing I would have, I think we disagree on. I disagree with. He has this model of elementary particles. I think it's overblown. I could be wrong. He hasn't predicted anything of any value. Okay, there's no contact with experiment there. If he shows me there is, then I'll support what he's saying. And he doesn't understand what's happening in the UFO field.
No, he really doesn't. He's got like a small grasp on it, but he hasn't dug into it quite enough. And I've tried to
and also
and he's really come off with this arrogant, over condescending attitude towards me and a lot of my peers and stuff that don't waste my time. I'm world class and you need to really
He's an arrogant asshole, but he is a Harvard PhD, so he's something to be arrogant about. He's an asshole. I mean, I'm an asshole too,
Right. Yeah. But I respect you because you get. Well, you don't also. I think if you had Joe Rogan's platform, you wouldn't give me the light of day either. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Well, we'll see. But what I want to say about
that I've put in the work, Jack. Though I've been through this, and I know all these people. I've been involved in this for 20 years now, so I've earned my stripes. So
All right, so
I'm no slouch either.
But do you actually talk to Eric Weinstein? Does he talk to you at all?
Yeah, I've talked to him a couple times off the record.
Ask him. Why don't you debate Jack Sarfati? See what he said.
I've asked him, and he said he's made comments about how it's just the whole calling people a schmuck thing, I think that turned a lot of people off. I don't know what,
Yeah,
it's but I understand it. You're not going to do that with someone on his level. You're going to debate actual.
No, I might do it, but I call myself a schmuck too. A schmuck is, a schmuck.
I know it's funny as hell, but I don't know. I don't know what the issue is. I think it's great, and
no, the issue is that Eric is afraid. He's afraid. He'll use that as an excuse. Yeah, he'll use that as an excuse. He's afraid to debate me on the real issues. He's afraid that I might, I might beat him. So he'll use that as an excuse. He'll say, "Oh, Jack is, I don't call. I'd probably be very cordial and charming with him. I only call really stupid people schmucks."
Well, I think that he did a good job handling Terrence Howard, because
I'm sure he did.
I'm
sure we agree on Terrence. I'm sure Eric and I would probably, on any specific thing, if I see the city of Terrence.
I learned a lot from watching how Eric handled Terrence Howard on the Joe Rogan podcast. It's a 4-hour, it's a long, grueling, long podcast. Definitely watch the last third if you're going to watch it at all.
Yeah, I'm not going to watch it.
I learned a lot about how to handle these, because this is the majority of this is the idiocracy that we live in today.
Yeah.
I have to people like me, I live in somewhere in the middle between.
Yeah,
I'm kind of a dumb person, but I've also have background in physics, and I've been doing this a long time. So, and I know enough to know when I see a Jack Sarfati and an Eric, to know that Eric Weinstein and people like you actually know the math and know and physics, and I know that people like you have a better grasp on the actual physics than Eric Weinstein, who's got he's got the geometry,
Eric is a
models and a lot of this stuff really well figured out, but he lacks physics intuition that you have that he doesn't. So there's all these people that have pieces, and I've been trying to bring the best pieces.
Eric's degree is not in physics; it's in mathematics, I believe. So there's some physics. He's a mathematician trying to do physics.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. You're exactly right. And he lacks a lot of the intuition that
what he lacks is I'm sure he had some very smart people at Harvard that Harvard does some, but he didn't have Hans Bethe, he didn't have Dick Feynman, he didn't have John Wheeler, he didn't have Werner Heisenberg. These are all people that David Bohm. These are all people who influenced me, with direct contact. Okay. And so I picked up on the way they think.
That's amazing for you to pass that on right now to the very few select people that are watching this. And if only this could have more views, because this is truly historic, the knowledge that we're trying to.
I mean, I'm sort of, my professors are the guys in Oppenheimer. You saw the movie Oppenheimer. Most of those guys, they were my teachers at Cornell in the 50s, late 50s. Hans Bethe.
Well, your papers on warp drive are going to be looked over for decades to come. I assure you that.
Well, hopefully we'll have something done way before. Okay, so one other thing I said, there's an experiment being done that will test my idea in the lab, in a major lab. Very simple experiment. It's the Cavendish. It's a variation on the Cavendish experiment. It's just involving melting ice to water. And it'll test I made a certain prediction of what'll happen. If that works, it really proves my explanation of UFOs is correct. It proves, it's a simple experiment. I published it, it's in the stuff I've been sending around, this Cavendish experiment. If you want to do a program on that at some point, not tonight. Okay. So,
that's interesting. The Cavendish experiment was one that I attempted a lot of experimental physics, and that was one that we tried that we couldn't get right. It was a very, very complicated and hard to perform experiment. I've seen a couple people that have done it and replicated it online, and that would be a good one to do in conjunction.
Okay, but the experiment, let me just quickly say what you have to do for the big masses. They have to be spherical. Spherical shells of glass, like what the chemists have, spherical, and you put water in them, and you freeze it. But the glass has to have heating wires, just like on the windshield of your car. The glass. So what you do, you start out with these things as ice, and you do your experiment. You see what that angle is with the small masses versus the large masses. You start out with that, and then you very slowly melt the ice to water. It may take several hours because you got to do it slowly, and you watch how the relative angle between the small masses and the big masses are going to change.
Is this under standard pressure, or do you vary the pressure? Because I know if you get pressure and temperature right with water, you get triple point, right?
No, well, that's not. Yeah, no, it's just melting. I mean, you got to do it. I don't know chemistry. What you just melt the ice. You just slowly, very slowly heat it, very slowly
under standard atmospheric pressure.
It's inside a spherical flask. What do you call these?
But it's open, right? It's not.
No, it's closed. It's closed.
It's closed, so it's pressurized then.
Well, I pressure. What does pressure have to? You start out with ice. Ice expands, so there's the whole glass sphere is filled with ice, except you need to leave a little air in there because it's going to expand when it melts, right? Oh no, it's going to contract. Ice expands. It contracts. Right? I'm tired now. It's late at night. When you freeze ice, the ice expands. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes,
I
sir.
get it right? Okay.
Yep.
Right. Okay. So I was saying it wrong. I get dyslexic. Okay. So you start out with two spheres of ice. You know how the experiment is 2 big balls and 2 little balls, right? And there's a torsion wire.
Okay. Yeah. So Cavendish experiment. Let me bring it up.
Yeah. Why don't you just get Wikipedia as a nice picture? Get the Wikipedia picture. Just get there's a nice picture in Wikipedia. Yeah, you should try to do the experiment.
Okay. Yeah, this would be a fun one to do.
Okay. Oh, no, keep going. Not
pretty
that
cheap.
One. Keep going. Stop. Slow. Keep going. No, that's not it. That's not what I'm looking for. Keep going. There, right there. That one. Get that one. That's it. Okay. Right now, just keep that. Okay.
You got little m and big M.
The gray spheres are
big
ice.
M.
Spheres of ice in a glass container, right? A glass container, ice. Okay. And oh, by the way, you continuously weigh. They're being weighed. There's some kind of on a scale. Each one is being weighed continuously, being monitored on an oscilloscope. Okay.
Yeah, hanging balance, right?
Yeah. Well, you could design the thing so that so you're getting a weight measurement as well. Okay. There's a scale. They're sitting. Yep. They're resting on a scale, on an accelerometer scale. Okay. So you start out with ice. You very slowly melt it. There are little wires in the glass that'll melt the ice. Electrical heating. You very slowly. And what's going to happen? The angle theta is going to change. Theta will change according to a simple equation. From Newton's. The equation is actually in the article. This equation right here. This equation. That equation. But the R depends on theta. They don't give the right. They don't. Yeah. Okay, go up a little more. Go down a little bit. Stop. Well, okay. No, you have to look at my paper. They don't quite express it the way I want it. But just no, it's not there. Just go back to the picture.
Which paper of yours should I look up?
Almost every I remind me if you don't have. I sent there's a paper that's being published by the Ukrainian Institute of Physics. And it's 74-page paper. It's all in there. Just remind me. I'll resend it to you. But just here. But look. So okay. What I'm saying. Get this. This picture. The picture. Get back to the picture. With the red balls and the gray balls. Get back to that picture. Just show the picture like you did before. Yeah, that. Okay. So what I'm saying is, as you slowly melt the gray spheres from ice to water, that angle theta is going to shift. So slowly shift. it'll follow it's a cubic polynomial equation. It'll follow a precise trajectory in time, which we know what it is. And what I'm saying is, but the weight will not change. The weight won't change, but that angle is going to change. So what it's showing is that I'm varying, is that we're controlling the what's called the active mass. We're controlling how much gravity the gray mass is exerting on the red masses. We're controlling that by changing the temperature of the ice. And okay, and I'm showing because what's happened. Okay, turns out there's something called the dielectric permittivity, the relative dielectric permittivity of ice. It's a pure number. It's 99, but the relative dielectric permittivity of water is 80. So it's like a 20% difference, and it's a big effect. See,
yeah,
and
that's super measurable.
Yeah, right, exactly. So I'm saying, so you should be able to see this, but the effect, the control of gravity, is proportional to this dielectric permittivity factor, is what I'm predicting. Okay. See, that's electromagnetism controlling gravity. Okay. So, because what the permittivity is, it's the response of the electric charges inside matter to an applied electric field or electromagnetic field in general. This permeability, there's all kinds of stuff there. So, in any case, I'm saying, and if this experiment works the way I predict, that explains how these UFOs fly. That explains how they neutralize gravity, how they affect the gravitational field. That's the basic proof of concept. And that's this was the first important experiment that confirmed Newton's laws of gravity. 1797, the Cavendish laboratory at Cambridge University is based on this experiment. So
this is what calculated G in Newton's gravity equation.
Yeah, right. So the point is this: in this experiment,
it's huge.
In this experiment, G is fixed. See, all you're varying is this angle theta.
This is the calculate. This is what NIST uses to calculate G for.
Yeah. So the point is this: this is a very clear, definite experiment, and actually, as far as I know, it's actually being designed. It's actually being done by a major university, but they don't want me to say until they publish the result. Okay, but meantime, other people could check it out if you try to, I mean, you want to do it. This is the experiment. This experiment is Nobel Prize. Not only that, this experiment, if it works, I could be wrong.
Yes, if you show that melting ice in M, you fill that with, all I have to do is fill that with M. I set up my LabVIEW software to measure the weight of each one with a separate torsion balance on each one.
No. There's no here. No.
Well, you don't need a torsion balance to measure the weight, but all you need to do is melt it, and then you have something that monitors the temperature and a video of the whole thing, and we can do that all with LabVIEW.
You put it all on a oscilloscope. You have these things are sitting on some kind of accelerometer, and hooked up to an oscilloscope. I mean, you're tracking it. You see, you'll see it on this you'll see on a digital readout, whatever. You'll see. I say the weight shouldn't change. See, weight is passive mass. There are three masses in physics. There's the passive mass, which is the weight times the acceleration of gravity. There's the active mass generating gravity, and there's the inertial mass, Newton's F equals ma. According to the equivalence principle, the passive mass and the inertial mass are equal. That's the equivalent, it's Galileo, all that shit. But the active mass is a totally different thing. See?
Interesting. So this would be an easy experiment for a laboratory to reproduce.
Well, I wouldn't say no experiment is easy, but it's certainly doable.
It's doable, right? You could collect the data on this, and what'd you do? Measure the relaxation time of little m towards m with it melted versus it frozen.
Yeah,
and then
that's it. You can see a big effect. If my theory is right, if my basic crucial experiment. And this, if it works, this could be done in every college, experimental physics lab as a course, as part of, you go into a lab, you do experiment. It's like they do the Millikan oil drop experiment. They could do the Cavendish Sarfati experiment.
Right.
I mean, if it works,
in theory, as long as you have it shouldn't change in mass. But what would happen is if you had
it changes what's called the active mass. It doesn't change the inertial mass. It doesn't change.
There might be some, experimental error in here, because if you were to take these things full of water and then freeze them, they're of course going to develop condensation on the outside from the air.
No, that's tiny. You can correct. All those things are easy to correct for.
Yeah.
I mean, smart. I mean, people. There's this $100 million laboratory where they got 50.
Well, I'm just saying, for the sake of people who are trying to design this experiment, they're going to go wrong doing this the first time.
Okay, but wait, but
controlled environment.
Maybe so. But remember, this is like a 20% effect. This is not a small effect. This is a big effect.
You got to do it in a 0% humidity chamber, right? Is what I'm saying.
What do you mean? It's from you're going to fill the goddamn thing with water. I see. When you put it, you can't fill it totally.
If you want to eliminate the condensation effect and all these other little
condensation, it's
factors.
So what? Condensation. What percentage of the mass is condensation? Small.
Yeah,
you're correct for that. I mean, we're talking about 20% effect. So condensation would be what, 0.1% error?
Right. If you had a big, I got to calculate that on the surface. It's just that's an interesting. That's an interesting undergraduate physics problem for you. Yeah, calculate the how mass changes.
That'll be small corrections, but this is going to be the signal to noise ratio in this experiment should be pretty big.
Right.
All these things you're worried about, probably not even noticeable. I don't know. Who knows? Yeah.
I agree. No, this is great. This is Nobel Prize winning stuff. I mean, this is what Newton
real science.
This is because you know why I thought of this finally? It took me a long time to think of it. Well, the reason I thought of it.
It's foundational.
Yeah. You know why? How I thought? Because I'm working with this guy, Ray Chow, famous experimental, full professor from Berkeley. And he has a bunch of students who are PhDs now, they're all teaching. In any case, one of his students, Nathan Innan, just sent me a table of dielectric permittivities. I didn't know this. This was only a couple of months ago. And I looked, I saw, ice to water, my God, 20%. It goes from, in terms of my S field, it goes from 1,000. Ice has like, this S field is 1,000, and it goes down to 640 or something, 780, 20% difference almost. Okay.
So what about sublimation?
What
about sublimation then? If it goes from ice into the gas, what sort of energy?
No, there's no what gas you're talking. There's no gas. This is in a glass container. Where's it going to gas? What are you talking? What gas?
Water will only
it's ice to liquid. It's no gas.
Okay.
I'm not heating it up. I'm not boiling it. I'm just slowly melting from ice to water at room temperature. Yeah, where is it? So where's the?
This is the phase diagram that's important for everyone to understand.
Yeah, that's vapor. Okay, so where's the?
I just want to connect this to people who are like
water.
This is water. This is for water. So this is solid phase. This is ice, right? This is vapor.
Where's the ice?
This is gaseous phase.
Wait, where's the ice? Where's the solid? Oh,
there. On the left.
Okay, yeah. So we're just
high pressure, low temperature.
Okay,
right.
So we're just going from somewhere here, ice, somewhere, just below zero.
If you take ice and you lower the pressure enough, it becomes a gaseous phase, and it sublimates.
No, that's what I'm trying to bring out. Yeah.
There's no.
This red curve represents the sublimation line.
So where the hell are we? So where is this on this diagram? So we're that. I mean, we're ice. There's ice in the thing, right? And
I don't know what TP is and PTP. So this is the triple point.
We're not down here. We're somewhere here, right?
So the triple point.
No, we're nowhere near.
This is just well-known engineering, chemistry.
Yeah, but we're nowhere near the triple point.
Where are we? Where are you in your experiment?
What are you talking about? If I just take an ice cube and put it on the table, there's no triple point there.
Right. You're about room temperature. This is
I'm talking about you start out with ice at what is it at 32 degrees Fahrenheit, and you set it and you melt it to just where it melts. It doesn't even have to go to room temperature. Where does it melt? When does ice go to water totally? At what temperature?
0 degrees Celsius, which is this
right.
This scale Celsius. So 0 degrees Celsius would be 32 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the same. And that's
the freezing point. That's where it freezes.
It also melts at that point too, I believe. It also.
But if you lower the pressure, there's this phase
you're not going to be the pressure. You're not going to be changing the pressure. You have ice inside a container.
Then it's at this pressure right here. So this is pressure on the left side. So ice at regular atmospheric pressure is this red line right here.
Okay, right there. Yeah. So there we go. Yeah, right there. No, you're just going from like a little. You're just going a little bit, a little bit from the gray. You're just going to a little bit in the green. It's just
gotcha.
Very
perfect. That's awesome.
Like,
this is how I can relate what you're saying to people like everyone out there in the Terrence Howard audience. This is great.
I forgot to tell you. All right. So the point is, when it's in the freezing, what is that blue, like a bluish gray?
The blue is ice. All right. Yeah. So the green is green's water and
so the blue point, the thing is like at almost 100, a number 100, and when it gets to right over the boundary to the green, it's down to 80.
That's 0 degrees. Yeah, right. So that's the freezing point. But then there's also something.
Right. So why I brought up sublimation is like in the freezer, right? A certain amount of ice actually goes into gas and evaporates away.
Well, it's not going to go anywhere.
Where
can it go? It's confined in a solid glass container. It's not going anywhere.
Right.
Right.
So, and that sublimation point, as you said, Bernie, that corresponds to this part of the line right here. So this is the triple point of water where it exists in all three phases at one time. So the only place it can turn directly from solid to gas is where orange touches blue.
Yeah, but we're nowhere near there. We're in this
range.
We're in that range. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Gotcha.
So it's a simple. Yeah, let's not make it. But yeah, it's simple.
Yeah, I just want to show the diagram bring it down.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. So just in this very tiny range.
Oh my God, this guy just keeps buying memberships for people.
Huge support.
We're getting a lot of audience support tonight for doing the stream and you being on, Jack, in particular.
Yeah, so How many people are watching this?
There's 200, over 200.
Yeah, all right. Okay, listen, I'm phasing out here. So that's it.
Yeah.
So this experiment will explain UFOs, warp drive. And it actually will explain time travel too.
Where's the table? You said that it's a table of dielectric constants.
Send me an email. I'll put you in touch with Nathan, and I have it somewhere.
Is it Nathan Inan?
Yeah, Inan. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's great. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, he said I have it somewhere, but I got so many emails, got to find it.
And guys, if you haven't seen Nathan Inan's presentation, go look that up because he's done some really good. The advanced, this one from in particular, this was from the Estes Park conference that you were at as well, Jack, with James Woodward. So go check that out. Nathan Inan's great. Please send me that, Jack. Thank you so much.
All right, just send me an email tomorrow, okay? All right.
I will.
Okay.
Awesome.
Bless you, sir.
Sarfati's the best.
All right, sure. Okay. I'm getting off. How do I get off here?
I'm going to kick you off right now. Bye.
Bye.
Happy
there you
4th
go.
of July.
Just close the window, Jack. That's great, man. That's so rad that he joined. I sent him the email like last minute, so I wasn't sure. I know he's out in California, so I figured he might be up. So
that's why I just stepped aside, man, because he's so smart. Anything you say, you can come off like a complete idiot.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You guys I'm trying to
I was falling asleep
mediate between, all right, how do I ask Jack this question and get this information out to people and really show this and because people don't lack that context, they don't know what he's talking about with that stuff, and even the engineering stuff is great. So yeah, this is great. Bringing all this intellect together and getting the smart people out there and into the world, because there's nobody doing this. It's like all locked up in these secret programs where like, oh, the government's got this all figured out and under control. And it's like, do they really? Do they know what's going on? Like, because this guy, like a lot of people that I talk to seem to know a lot more about what these UFOs are and what is really going on than Sean Kirkpatrick and the official people reporting from official government offices on this stuff. So, and then also the scientists too. So we have, for example, the I won't get into that.
What
but the
Jack said about Candice Owens' claim there, like that, yeah, there is some like Luciferian and Nazi origins and whatnot, and just like, wow, right?
Well, that's all real. That's all real stuff, and he can attest to that because like a lot of those programs are the ones that recruited people like Jack Sarfati to investigate UFOs back in the 70s, which he was involved in, and he's personally involved in a lot of this stuff. You have to like realize that, you know what I mean? The guy's personally lived through a lot of this shit, which is crazy to have him on the show. So, but yeah, the Candice Owens thing, I have to watch this. I haven't watched all of this, but I encourage people to go check this out because I really like Candice on a lot of different issues and stuff, and I really hope that the whole science debate doesn't get lost here in what's really, because there's so much to science that we can't just throw it all out together. We have to like have some respect for academia and the people that have spent lifetimes investigating this stuff and what it takes to be at that elite level. And for people to understand, I think there's a lot of separation in the understanding, because I talked to a lot of people, and I'll tell you what, that whole not everyone has the same interpretation or takeaway from that Eric Weinstein Terrence Howard debate that I did, especially a lot of the Terrence Howard fans, the people that are really into.
No, is he the one that got this thing really off and going? I didn't know that.
Because Eric was really respectful, I thought, for the first 3 hours. He let Terrence do a lot of the talking, let him get his points across.
Then he started swearing
and really didn't try to be preachy or interrupting, or like, but there were so many points where I knew he wanted to interrupt, and I felt like, listening to this,
you would have did this, Jeremy.
Right. Where I would have just been like, dude, no, all right, you're using this term. Do you know what that term means, right? So one of the terms that Terrence kept using is supersymmetry, right? And then Eric called him on it and said, do you know what supersymmetry is, right? And Terrence had the opportunity to respond correctly, where he could have said, yeah, CPT, charge, parity, and time. And that's all he needed to say to show to Eric that he understood that at the academic level that Eric does, and show that he's on the same level. But based on Terrence's response to that question, I knew that Terrence doesn't know what supersymmetry really means. What he's saying, he's using a word and using a term which has a specific meaning in all of physics. And yeah, so that was a key part to me. And then the other key part was when, he took the linchpin theory and he showed that, so he said like something about the 109-degree angle, and your things are only 108.5, so they have a good tolerance, so they're able to work in engineering tolerances, but they're not you're missing like a point, that 0.5%, not 0.5%, that 0.5. Which is a lot. So it's an incomplete model if you're using this as a theory of everything and a model of supersymmetry and unifying physics and all this stuff. So yeah, there's just a lot that Terrence thinks that he can get this stuff off on news reporters and other people that don't really know their stuff, but it's not going to pass at a high level academic level, and I think that's what Eric was trying to show him and demonstrate for him. But I don't know that everybody took that away from all of it. You know what I mean? I just
yeah,
because there's a lot of people that then the whole our electric universe thing, because Eric was like, is this electric universe theory? And Terrence said no, right? So it's not electric universe stuff. This is something different. And so it's good. I don't know. A lot of people say, like, I like to think that maybe, well, Joe Rogan did, he basically like snuck in an advanced.
I have yet to watch it, so I am definitely going to have to do that before I can properly comment.
The best part is, I'm telling you, the last third. Let's watch a couple pieces of it. Shall we play it?
Absolutely, for sure.
This part was my absolute favorite in particular. Let me just find the whole podcast and play it. Where's the whole thing? It's got to be in the history. So that's not it. This was it, right? 4-hour one. All right. Can you hear this? Just
no, you're gonna have to reshare it.
I'm gonna reshare it and make sure it's playing on the right thing.
Which is, there was a study called Dunning-Kruger effect. Is both an effect studied and the ultimate insult. It's basically your mama, right? Mm-hmm. Let's just click on that and see what happens.
So I spent a lot of time on it, and I thought, out of respect for him, what I should do is give him my most informed critical analysis that I can. In my field, we call that a peer review. You come up with an idea, you present it either at a conference or you first write it up and you send it to your colleagues. It is their duty to alert you of things about your ideas that are either misguided or wrong, or there's the calculation that doesn't work out, or the logic doesn't comport. That's their job. Not all ideas will turn out to be correct. Most won't be. But to get to that point, you need to know things like, what has everyone else said about this same subject? Am I repeating someone else's work? Is this a new insight that no one else has had, but has foundations that are authentic or legitimate or objectively true? Am I making a false assumption? Am I making an assumption that someone else has already shown to be false? All of this goes on the frontier of science. Let me make it clear that I'm delighted when I see people with active minds trying to tackle the great unknowns in the universe. It's a beautiful thing that people want to participate on this frontier. What can happen is, if you're a fan of a subject, let's say, a hobbyist, let's call it, it's possible to know enough about that subject to think you're right, but not enough about that subject to know that you're wrong. And so there's this sort of valley in there, a valley of false confidence. This has been studied by others, and it's called the Dunning-Kruger effect. It's the phenomenon where a little bit of knowledge, you over-assess how much of that subject you actually know. And then when you learn even more, you realize, no, I didn't know as much as I thought I did. So then there's a sort of a lull there. And then when you learn even more, you come back up. Ultimately, learning enough to know whether you were right or wrong. To become an expert means you spend all this time. It doesn't happen overnight. You can't just sit in an armchair and say, I'm now an expert. It requires years and years of study, especially looking through journals where new ideas are published and contested. That's what we have learned is the most effective means of establishing that which is objectively true, or determining that which is objectively false. Both of those work hand in hand to move the needle on our understanding of the universe. I'm going to read you just my opening line here. It's titled 1 × 1 = 2.
Okay.
So I lead off.
So that was now if we go below that, what do we have? Is that let's try that.
Oh, this was great. So I want to pause it right here to take a minute, because we have to like break it up. We can't just play like other people's stuff.
Well, give our analysis.
But I want to give analysis of it as well. This is why I'm playing it. It's not to try to. It's to give analysis of this. Now, Neil, right? one of the things that's funny is they say in here, everyone's saying that, oh, Neil's such a busy guy that he doesn't have time to really address this stuff. And I just laughed at that. You know why? Because I told you that Neil's security guard at the Hayden Planetarium's marrying like a friend of mine. That a guy,
Really?
the guy I know personally, and I'm going to his wedding next week. Knows Neil personally. He won't hook me up with it. He's I don't know. I've been trying to get him to hook me up with an interview with Neil, but I know for a fact that he's given interviews, like FaceTime interviews with Neil Tyson, to people that know nothing about physics. For 3 hours, he lets these other people talk to Neil, and Neil blows their mind, and he acts like the smart guy. Neil loves, talking down to kindergartners and explaining to people who know nothing.
Right.
I very rarely gets in debates with people that really know this stuff and would ask.
That's a very good point. And as many in the chat have been saying that he's pushing an agenda, I fully agree with that. Like he's fully bought into that liberal arts style agenda and controversies and all of it, and it's that's no longer science. It's no longer taking the scientific method and testing stuff. He's just
what happened to science. So this is good because you're foreshadowing this. I want to play this next part. This is great.
Hi, Sir Arthur Eddington, an astrophysicist, provided the first experimental evidence for Einstein's general theory of relativity, which, by the way, was published in a peer-reviewed journal. Crazy idea. The platform to be accepted for the ideas is not social media. It is not Joe Rogan. It is not my podcast. It is research journals where attention can be given on a level that at the end of the day offers no higher respect for your energy and intellect than by declaring that what's in it is either right or wrong or worthy of publication or not. I wanted to post this to my website so you can see my comments mixed in with his treatise, but you got a sense of it. Thanks for listening.
Okay. I want to be very careful about my words. Is there anything below that we've put together? This is let's go above. This is Neil deGrasse Tyson, just so you don't feel bad about yourself, talking about me and my theories based on a question in an Ask Me Anything. Will you be able to talk to Eric Weinstein about the new theory of geometric unity? This is from 2013. We are all wondering about that. Cosmos is not your normal talking head documentary. In fact, it's the feature of the original that enabled the series to live for an entire generation beyond the shelf life of hundreds of other science documentaries that came afterwards. So the answer is no. Let me explain where you are. Neil is not unaware that you are never going to get your hearing in a peer-reviewed journal. Your ideas are going to come through. You're a self-taught autodidact polymath. You haven't been cleaned up. You haven't been taught how to speak properly. You don't know the fact that when you say lube, we know fixed point. I know how to do all this stuff, right? You're not getting a peer review from me. I know a lot more than you do about a lot of this stuff. You're getting an elite review. And my elite review says that a lot of this is bathwater, but a small amount of this is baby. And that's not available anywhere. It's not available in a university. It's not available in a journal. That's available on the Joe Rogan Experience. And Neil's right. If what you want is peer review, you should go to a journal and they will laugh you out. They will take one look at your email address. And if it doesn't end in .edu, I promise you're not going to get hurt.
Do me a favor, Jamie. Can you pull up?
Let him finish.
Hold on, because
let him finish because this is a sustained.
Let's go.
Thought.
Let's go below where we just were.
We're gonna have to. This is a whole nother podcast, man.
Absolutely.
Distract from Jack and what he took away from this, because that was great to have him on with that commentary. It's already over 2 hours. Can we touch on this tomorrow or not another day?
Absolutely, I agree.
You haven't seen this yet, Bernie, at all.
Yeah, so let's
a lot of people in
make
the
a
audience
full
have seen
episode
this,
of it.
please.
100%.
Let's everyone go watch this again. And I fell asleep during the last. It was 4 hours long, so I've fallen asleep now during the last part. I'm gonna watch it again. Let's come back to this right here.
100%. Because Sir Fadi for the opening, the 4th of July.
We'll make
right?
a whole new show out of this, man. It's 3 a.m. here. It's 4th of July. I gotta go to bed, man. Happy birthday, America. Thank you everyone for watching, and let's do a new show out of this soon, because we'll all go watch this really, and we'll do an awesome Friday show out of this. I agree, brother. We'll really dig into this. I want to get David Chester on. I emailed him. It was probably too short notice. I'm going to reach out to him, see if we can get David Chester on to really go into all this stuff. And this was great. I want to get all the timestamps too. This is great. Disclosure's awesome, man. This is awesome. Joe Rogan got 2 million people to take an advanced placement course in mathematics and really dig into the real theory of everything stuff. So,
Jeremy, when's Joe Rogan ever going to have a real UFO guy on there, man? Except for these self-pick guys like the. Why does he keep having that comedian on with Jeremy Corbell? He keeps talking about him all the time.
Oh, by the way, he's so large that if he doesn't, they will take him out, right? Like
I don't even want to go on that show, man. They would take me out. They would take me out, man. We're on to too much real shit. We need to stay low key for now. We need to stay with our own network and this
some serious people on there to get anywhere.
Well, I don't want to go on Joe Rogan. I don't want to go on big podcasts. We're doing what we need to do where we need to do it right now. And the people that are here are the only people that matter. So thank you all for being here, and have a great night. Awesome.
Bless you all. Happy 4th of July. Thank you for having me, my friend. And let's do this again Friday for sure.
Yes, absolutely. I got to go to bed.